Hey, what's up guys? My name's Nathan, and this is going to be the beginning of my YouTube channel. I'll be sharing vlogs, surfing, day-to-day, whatever you want to see, let me know. Here's a full breakdown of the heaviest wipeout of my life on my third time out to Mavericks. I had this wipeout on Sunday, December 22nd. I had surfed it Tuesday that week before, and on Tuesday it was about as friendly and approachable as you could ever want Mavericks to be. It's super clean, really predictable where it's gonna break, really only caught an insider. On Sunday, everyone had kind of chalked it up to just a tow-only day because there's kind of some south winds, it was foggy, it was shifty and big, and I decided to just paddle out and watch it just because I was there and I had never seen Mavericks break that big before. So I wanted to just be a part of it in whatever way I could be. I jumped in the water to go paddle. It was nonstop. It was more difficult to get out Sunday morning than it was Monday morning, even though Monday morning was arguably bigger already before that energy hit. Just battling, you have all the waves breaking, right, on the inside, and then they kind of go flat into the lagoon. And you have to kind of get yourself out to right before kind of where the waves go flat again, and then kind of hold your ground there because the current's gonna be pushing you in. Like there's days you're just paddling and you can't even get to like a 6-foot whitewater. It's just too much current. You kind of just gotta hold yourself there and hope you get a little bit of a break, and then you can kind of shoot through, kind of zigzag whatever ways you can. It's a little strange, I'm still learning it, but essentially I couldn't do that. I couldn't get out. I kept getting denied, and then I'd kind of paddle back north towards the rocks and try again, and kind of doing these loops. And then I saw these other two guys paddling out, so I was like, all right, I'll give it one more go. We're sitting there trying to paddle, and we're like, okay, this is pretty hopeless. It wasn't impossible, because I think Chase Luray made it out on his own, but we were sitting there, and then luckily they knew a guy on a jet ski. Then he came back and took me and Ryan. So I was on the back of the sled, Ryan was on the ski. And this was my first time being on the back of a sled with my surfboard, and it was terrifying. Sort of the biggest waves I'd ever been in, you know, holding onto the grips, elbows locked in, pushing my board down, and just trying my best to hold on. You know, you're turning, you're kind of digging a rail, and then sliding, and then you're going over a wave, and you're getting air off of your board, and then trying to land back on your board, hoping it doesn't get ripped out from under you. I was at my limit. I was so close to letting go and just paddling back in and calling it a day. I was scared. But we made it out. It felt like an eternity being on the back of that sled. Got dropped off in the lineup, saw all the familiar faces, you know, and then was just sitting there. And it was, like everyone said, it was a tow day. It was scary looking. It was just, there's something about Mavericks. Those waves breaking just sound so heavy. There's just so much water. It's like this thunderous crack when that lip hits the water. And then a set swings super wide. I was sitting there and I was like, oh shit, I could have caught that. And then after that happened, I was like, oh man, I think I'm gonna catch a wave today. And then I saw Chase start paddling over into the lineup, and I was like, okay, all right, we're gonna try this. There's kind of a few guys way on the shoulder, and then there's kind of me in the middle, and then there's Chase sitting really deep. I thought Chase was a madman, and I still do. Sitting there for a bit, and then I caught one that swung wide. It was a total shoulder hop, total sleigh ride, didn't even really break, just kind of rode it through the inside and kicked out. But I was like super stoked. I was like, okay, I stood up, you know, on a wave. Doesn't really count as a real wave, but I stood up, and then I saw Chase get two absolute bombs after I kind of got back out and waited a little bit. Like big waves, gnarly waves, late airdrop, made it. I'm sitting out there like, oh my gosh. After Chase's, I think he got two waves. I think after his second wave, and it was just sitting in the channel. And then all of a sudden, I'm the only dude sitting over there trying to paddle. And I've got this whole lineup watching me. And everyone in the lineup pretty much knows who I am because of the social media stuff, because I've been making videos about this for months. And that was all spinning through my head. So I was sitting there, whole channel's watching me. Everyone kind of had stopped towing a little bit. And I was like, okay, I'm interrupting the tow session. I don't want to annoy these people. So I either need to piss or get off the pot. And I kind of had paddled for like a pretty big wave or two. And I heard everyone shouting to go and just couldn't do it. You know, I pulled back. And then I kind of got to that point and I was like, okay, you know, you kind of get restless at some point. You're like, all right, no matter what, I'm going. The next wave that gave me a realistic entry, I was like, I'm gonna go no matter what. And then came the wave that I went on, and it kind of hit the bowl. I didn't realize how deep I was sitting on the bowl. Where I was sitting in retrospect, as Sage said, was like I could have taken like a 50-foot wave on the head if a giant set came through. I was like right on the bowl, and when it's that big, it kind of breaks way further out there sometimes. Yeah, I saw this thing coming, and I saw it kind of cupping out, and I was like, okay, giving it paddles. You know, I didn't really know what to expect, but as I went for it. I just paddled, I popped up, and then it felt like I was at the top of that wave for a very long time, and I was looking down and I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna be caught in the lip. I couldn't really tell. All I was looking down at was like this giant drop. Like it looks, in the video it doesn't look like that crazy of a wave, but to a SoCal surfer that's never surfed a heavy wave, it's insane to look at. And for a half second I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna need a pin drop, you know, free fall down the lip? I was like, nah, I can't. I was like scared to make that commitment to pin dropping, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep going, whatever's happening. And it was just like, this whole thing just started throwing, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so steep. And then I kind of like halfway through the drop, I feel like gave up. And looking back, I'm like, I think I could have made that drop. If you look at some of the stills, you're like, look at it really slow, it's like, maybe I could have made that. Kind of gave up. Like, I hit the water like in crisscross applesauce almost. I was like sitting, hit the water, and then I cartwheeled. And while I was kind of cartwheeling and sliding on the face, I think I got 2 more breaths, because I think you kind of like instinctually hold your breath. And then as I'm sliding, I'm like, okay, I can take another breath. Which I don't know if that's a dangerous game to play, but that's kind of what I've done in the past. So I got 2 more breaths. You can see me tuck into a ball. I tucked into a ball, and I don't really remember getting sucked back over. I might have, or I kind of fell through. I might have gotten pulled up a bit and then fallen through the roof, like it through the barrel again, and then through where the water separates, where the lip hit. It felt like I was falling for a very long time, and I was just spinning while I was falling. And I wasn't really panicking, because I was like, I don't really know what to expect. My first real wipeout on the biggest wave of my life, so I was kind of just like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. And I was just spinning. And at some point through the spin cycle, it was, you know, super violent, most violent beating I'd had. I was like, oh, I've got this vest, should I pull it? And I wasn't really sure, like, should I pull it? Do I need to pull it? When do you pull it? And then I kind of remembered I had went to pull it the week before and it didn't go off. So I was like, okay, well, let me just make sure it works. So I gave it a good pull on one of the tabs, and, you know, sure enough, inflated, popped back up really quick. I wasn't super deep. My board was broken, but it was still in one piece. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to paddle out of the impact zone. But it was all inflated, so I kind of struggled to get on my board. I think if I had deflated or not inflated, maybe I could have got out of the way. And I tried paddling out of the way, and then took like a little 10-footer on the head. That broke my board into 2 pieces, and then I was like trying to swim out, but jet skis, Matt, the guy that foiled Mavericks for the first time, actually saved me, picked me out of the water. And I was kind of all freaking out, I think, because I was like, what did I just do? I couldn't believe I actually sent it on that. So I was kind of like not thinking straight. They were trying to help me get my board pieces on the inside, and I was kind of like, why are we on the inside? Let's get out of here. But then I switched onto Tanner ski. I had the tail of my board, I think, and then he dropped me off in the lagoon and was like, all right, go find the other half. Or no, I had the front half, and then I had to go find the tail half. But then I found it surprisingly easy. That was a struggle getting in through the lagoon. Like 6 feet of fiberglass hanging off the tail piece, and 2 boards. Everyone on the beach was staring at me like I was crazy. I felt like I was a little bit crazy. I was also super, like, I look at the photo still and I'm like, I can't believe that's me, and I can't believe I fell. Like, I can't wait to do it again. It's such an incredible wave. Like, that feeling when you actually make one must be incredible. I don't know how good a breakdown that was. That's kind of just me rambling. Let me know what you think. But yeah, I want to start doing vlogs, so keep an eye out for that. I know I've been saying that for a long time. I think I've been trying to be too perfect and wait for everything to come together, and I gotta remember that doesn't actually happen, and I need to just start and learn and fail. Thank you to everyone who's watching. I mean, the support is insane to me. I think people see me as who I am, just a kid, you know, following his passions, and the people out at Mavericks have been super kind and kind of passing down the torch, helping me learn and take my whippings when I can. This is just the start. I'm going to be uploading a video every week of 2025. My goal is to upload a good video every week, whatever that is. If it's a vlog, if it's surfing, if it's driving in the van, if it's a breakdown. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll do my best. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.